Who am I trying to get to there? Get into the court. I can't get to talk to somebody. Is there anything you can do to get me into there?
Trigger finger mentality.
In Oregon?
Yeah, you're from New Hampshire.
To a clerk, any clerk, in the Salem Housing Court, so that I can just tell them that I can't be there to defend myself because the bank that filed that notice did it on the same morning that they're doing a levy where I have to be here. That's what I need from you folks. So I'm going to demand that they have a bond, right?
Okay.
It's clear that this is illegal, so there's going to be liability, but without a bond, there's nobody to hold accountable to that. I need to know that there's a bond. If they're going to go forward, they're sure enough that they're willing to produce a bond. And they have to produce a bond with a warrant whenever they do an action against violence like this. So they don't want to produce the bond. And they'll intimidate me, they'll tell me they're going to arrest me, they'll try to go around it. You'll see it, you'll witness it, because it'll be happening right in front of you. I'm going to ask, what's going to happen is eventually they're just going to ignore me and go right past me, just walk past me, and go into the house and try to do things. Once they're in the house, then it's a much more difficult task. That's what happened over
As long as
here
you're
last
recording.
time. So what I'm asking of you people is that you be a barrier behind me. That they know they cannot go through this barrier without pushing or touching one of you. If we let them go blah 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 blah, yeah, well that's good. But if they go around us, no harm done. But if they
Don't
have
chase them.
so if it comes to that moment when you can tell this guy is being challenged and he's going to now come, you'll see them. They'll go off and talk. They'll get their shit together. All right, let's do it right now. And the two of them, this is what they did last time, and the two of them just came, and they had threatened me and Chris, we're going to arrest you, blah, 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 blah. And then they came charging right up and went right past us, up the yard and into the house. Right?
So we should be in the front.
About they can't come in here without a bond, and unless I let them. And if they walk around me and go past me and in, I let them, right? They can't push me. They can't even arrest me. The sheriffs can't arrest me. They have to get the police to do it, and they can't. The police won't arrest me unless I do something violent. The core issue here is that two things. First of all, it's all illegal, right? The bank has no standing. They have no interest in this house, and there's a million reasons that we can go through, etc. But this action that's happening this morning is a levy on an execution. The execution that they have, that gives them permission to do that, was issued while I was under automatic state protection in bankruptcy, which is illegal.
There they go.
So they're trying to levy on an execution that is invalid.
Because it was issued when you were in bankruptcy.
Right.
Okay.
And to explain it to you without writing quotes, there's some confusion in there, which I understand how this happened, but now they got to fix it, which is I filed for bankruptcy. That stopped them from evicting me. They sent the sheriff's home. A week later, the judge dismissed it because of a problem in the papers.
Okay.
During that period when it was dismissed, they filed for their execution.
After it was dismissed.
After it was dismissed properly, they applied for an execution, a new execution, right? Then the judge reinstated the bankruptcy. I did what he asked. He vacated the dismissal. He vacated the dismissal. So in other words, it was contiguous. The bankruptcy never went away.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So they needed to now go get a new execution because the bank. Well, they couldn't. They can't.
Right.
They realized they should have realized at this point it's invalid, and that's what they're operating and doing their levy on today.
So the bankruptcy was reinstated, basically.
It was reinstated. Well, now see, reinstated is different. Maybe that's the right
Was
word.
continued, basically.
It was the dismissal,
dismissal
was
was
vacated.
vacated.
Right.
Okay.
So he put a cloud on it,
Yeah.
and then he removed the cloud. So the bankruptcy was always there. That's one thing. The other thing is I have an appeal currently in the appeals court. And the law clearly states that during the pendency of an appeal, you cannot execute. That's like saying we're going to, you've been tried to murder and we're going to kill you. And so we're going to kill you on Thursday, but next Friday we're going to have an appeal to decide whether we should have or not.
And
That's the reason for the Rule 62 that says you cannot execute pending an appeal. But they're doing it.
And that appeal is on. Just want to make sure, because I know you have a couple of appeals.
No, there's just one.
Okay, so there's just the
Well,
one.
now there's several more.
Okay.
We filed some more. But that appeal is on the final judgment of the eviction.
Okay. Okay.
And
So-
they're in court right now.
And, oh yeah, so now,
Yeah. It's,
so yesterday, I filed an appeal of their getting that execution during my bankruptcy, right? So that I can bring to the court the evidence that shows that this is invalid, right?
Right.
They're in court right now with an emergency motion to strike my notice of appeal.
The bank.
The bank is.
Yeah.
While the bank is sending the sheriff to levy on my eviction right now. So I can't be in two places at once. I can't defend my levy and be in court to defend my rights to stop. So this is a tactic that they use often.
and they don't have a bond.
Did that to me last time
And they
too.
do not have a bond. By law, they have to have a bond, correct?
Yep.
So you can't be two places at once.
Can't be two places at once. It's due process. I'm being denied due process of law. And it's an emergency motion to strike my appeals, my notice of appeal. What's the emergency? Why do they need normally you file a motion, I get 10 days to respond, they have to serve me a notice so that I can show up in court. What's the emergency about a motion to strike a person's notice about he's going to appeal?
That's not just a legal term that they use. Call it an emergency.
Well, emergency
You know what I
because
mean?
they want to stop because this is the reason they aren't executing on this thing right now is because they know that they can't do it with those appeals in place.
They're waiting for the judge to say, go for it or no.
Yeah,
While he is in bankruptcy,
and I can't be there to argue to the judge, to present the evidence to the judge. What? Oh boy.
Should I stand back or what would you like me to do?
Be back there.
Okay.
film.
Oh, of course.
The owners of these cars, they're going to have to move them off the street. Okay. So the Andover policeman will show you where to move them. Can I speak to you for a second?
Off the property.
Well, I'm going on the property.
Well, I need to see a bond. If you're gonna go into
You don't need to see a bond.
You don't
I have an
bond.
eviction order. We went through this before, Mr. Boyle. You understand how this works. The eviction is going to happen right now. Okay. So that is for everyone to come off the property. All right, property line's out here on the street. Okay, so everyone wants to stand here, do whatever, that's fine. But they're going to do it off the property. Okay, the eviction is happening. We're going inside.
This is my property. You're not coming onto my property.
Okay, we are.
Unless you produce a bond.
Guys,
so
hold
that I
hands.
know who to sue when you find out that this is all illegal.
Yeah.
You know that I'm under bankruptcy protection right now.
Mr. Boyle, I'm not going to go through this whole thing with you again. We've been through this a number of times. Okay.
Do you know that
Mr. Boyle, right now you're physically impeding me. I'm going to escort you and we're going to start getting
I
arrested.
am on my
We've got a
property,
camera.
and I have the right to stand here and ask you to deal with this issue before you do something illegal.
Did we not have a talk over there?
Yes.
We did. Okay, and I explained to you the situation. So if we're going to do this for everyone's benefit, you know, I mean, we're not going through this.
Excuse me.
There's an appeal process.
Don't touch me.
Mr. Boy, you're impeding him.
He touched it.
It's property.
There's an assault here.
You see that? No, that trespassing.
Does anyone here?
No
Does anyone live here?
I
Does
live
anyone
here.
live here?
Don't answer.
living
Don't
right
answer
here.
him. You don't have to answer his questions.
Well, right now,
I'm living here
you're
right now.
trespassing right now.
You are
And you're going to be
trespassing.
subject to arrest. I just want everyone to understand.
Show me
that.
the order.
Show me the order. Show us the charge.
Show me the order.
You have the eviction notice.
You
that I've
show me
served.
that's a notice. I want to see the order.
I'm living right here in this body right now. I'm living here. He asked the question if I'm living here. I'm living here.
You've seen it.
This is where I live.
This is an execution on judgment.
Yeah, it says
Yes.
to deliver said premises to the plaintiff, and that's what we're doing.
Okay, and do you see the date that this was issued?
Yes,
Do you know that on that date I was in bankruptcy protection?
and you understand that was denied.
No, what was
It was
denied?
denied, and I
was
have
the-
paperwork and everything that
Show us
all
the
the
paperwork.
lawyers. I'm not going to argue with everyone here, but this
I'm
is
telling
with you.
I'm just
But
asking
then
you.
come over here and I'll speak to you only.
But why
Personal
must you go
safety.
somewhere different? What's wrong with
Well,
doing
I
it
want to stand on
publicly?
my property.
We were just talking, right?
Stand here, we're just talking.
We're just talking. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Mr. Boyd, don't put your hands on me.
I'm not putting my hands on you.
This is somebody's
Look at this
home.
violence.
This is somebody's home,
Make sure you're
guys.
filming this.
Police brutality.
That's it.
So you are trespassing and you have just committed assault.
Witnesses are here.
Mr. Boyer, I'm gonna have to ask you your associated with your vehicle.
I want to, we'll deal with that in a minute. I want to, that's not my vehicle.
It's like marauders.
Did you just witness them?
They were issued by the court to come over here.
They assaulted me.
Can I ask you
Off the property.
Can I ask you a question?
No, you can't. Not until you get off the property. I'm not answering any
I'm a
questions.
human
And
being
I'm not
first.
consenting to you being videotaped as well.
Apparently,
so I'm asking
publicly,
you to
you
remove
can do
yourself
that.
from the property. You're trespassing.
But
You're trespassing, ma'am.
The world
You have no business
the world
here.
belongs to
You-
everybody. What about that tree? Is that
Off
tree
the property,
trespassing?
please. You guys
you know
have
what?
them move those
You're
vehicles?
working for the
I
banks.
appreciate
But
it.
you know what the banks are doing to everybody?
vacate the property.
Do you know what the banks are doing to people?
Ma'am, you have to vacate it.
Why?
Off the property.
Why?
You're trespassing.
Off
If you're
Yes.
subject to arrest right now. You're subject to arrest.
You know
I
what?
want you off the property.
I'm a
please.
woman, and no women,
Ma'am.
no women represented me in the Constitution. Therefore, the laws don't apply to
You
me.
need to vacate the property.
I'm sorry,
You know
I
why
do
this-
respect
You
you,
need to
but
vacate the property.
I don't believe in that sort of
It's
stuff.
9
You need to
o'clock.
vacate the
This
property.
is supposed to happen. You understand? You
If this is
understand?
legal, if this is legal, I want to abide. I want to abide.
Yeah. Well,
If
it's
it's
your
legal.
word saying it's illegal, and
Ma'am,
I
I'm
you
only
need to
doing
vacate
this-
the-
Look,
You're trespassing on the
Do
property.
you know how intimidating it is to have so many
We're not
policemen
intimidated.
here?
Go to court.
You
and
need to-
argue,
you
Mr.
need to
Boyd. You
vacate
have
the
every right in
property.
the world to do that.
I don't
But
agree
right
with
now,
the banks.
I want you off the property.
I am in court arguing. I have an appeal currently in the appeals court right now.
Ma'am,
Isn't
you
that
are
what you just asked
trespassing
me
on
to
the
do?
property right now. I'm asking you
Are
to
we
go off
are we in a
Isn't
free
that what you just
country?
asked me to do?
You're a free country to stand off this property.
But
you don't
that's
belong
not
here.
free.
It's my property.
Mr. Boyd, I'm not going through this.
It's difficult, isn't it? But you know what? We understand your position.
If you understood my
should
position, then
understand
you
ours.
cooperate and stand on the
Ma'am, you
street.
need to
I
cooperate and
don't. I
leave the
don't
property.
cooperate with intimidation. Okay,
you
just
need to
understand.
vacate the property.
I have to take films
You
from
need
my
to, you can
friends.
take a film from the sidewalk. You're trespassing.
But you're just telling me what harm is it doing standing here instead of standing there? I'm pretty bad. I know.
What do we call the sidewalk?
As far as where you want them,
Yeah. Where do you guys?
the best spot would be on the corner by the sign. That way everybody's out of the way. It allows for everybody to do
That's the best, but that's not valid.
You know, this is a person's home. Are we going to be doing this in America? Is this what we're
These
going
are-
to be
these are
doing?
your friends,
You know how
Mr.
many
Boyd.
thousands of people are
These are all
getting
your
kicked
friends,
out of their
right?
homes?
I don't know what difference does that make.
Because maybe you should tell them to.
No, these are
You can see we're not gonna be reasonable.
You know it can happen to you too. You know that.
It's not being reasonable. I just want to talk. You don't have any need to do anything except try to resolve this. There's no harm in trying to resolve this peacefully.
Did you tell them that you've got an appeal pending? The police, did you tell them? Because they might not know that.
And they're not producing the bond. They won't produce a bond.
It's nerve-wracking. It's hard to photograph. It's kind of difficult to catch it all. There's David. It's just so intimidating. It's unbelievable.
Recourse when it's
Show of
demonstrated. It's
force.
finally revealed that this is an
You're supposed to be scared.
unlawful action. They're going to be held accountable, and I need a bond to be able to go after them.
Joe, get everybody's name. And
I
maybe
know
Joe
it's
can.
those.
Okay. Get everybody's name that assaulted and trespassed.
Fuck them up. Good. Put a lien on them.
Put a lien on him.
My contact information?
Your name and
Yeah, you'd have to speak with the department spokesman and the captain. And the captain. You'd have to speak with the captain.
Can you shine a
Refusal-
thing over there?
refusal of
The
name
fellow
and
with the short hair that's
trespass?
facing towards us. He refuses to
You're
identify
putting a lien on
himself.
every one of these people.
Folks, can I ask you all with the exception of Mr. Boyer, if you could all just walk down to the corner.
No, thank you very much for asking.
It'll be a lot easier, sir.
Thank you very much for asking.
It'd be easier for you guys to do that. Not for us.
You're, you have to be in.
But I'll follow on the law.
Yeah, we do need to get clear on what the bond requirements, like what's this clarity of that? What's this? We know that they require a bond. It makes sense, common sense, but we need to have statutes behind that.
Haven't. What do you want me to do?
No, just record me asking them.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. I'll come with you.
I can get your name?
Officer Fitzpatrick.
Officer what?
Fitzpatrick. F-I-T-Z-E-P-H.
Oh.
That's very Irish. You don't joke, do you?
What's that?
You don't tell jokes or laugh at jokes.
Not exactly, no.
Okay.
I just need you guys out of the roadway, okay?
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Let's get everybody else's name here. Can I get your name, sir?
Sure. Officer Dubois,
How you spell that?
D-U-B,
D-U-B-O-I-S.
O-I-S.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Badge number 16.
How are you?
A-R-L-E-Q-U-E.
Slowly, please.
What do you think about all this?
A-R.
Just here doing my job.
You know that Hitler's guy said the
Irish
same
side
thing.
16.
You know that, don't you?
1-6.
Thank you.
Hello.
Juar,
Spell that.
G-E-R-R-O-I-R.
Thank you.
Stay one side. That's all. That's where I'm over there.
Can I get your name, sir?
Yep, Murray.
Thank you very much. Anyone else here? Got my email.
Yeah.
It's quite accurate.
Yeah, what did you send me? Is there something?
So that, you know what they,
Was this?
so
Yeah.
they have ignored everything. I just got a call from Trippy at the court. He said that the judge heard the emergency motion and denied, dismissed my appeals. Right, and as far as that, they said that there's nothing they could do. I finally got to the clerk at the Salem court. I don't know if you're aware of that. Trippy's in Lawrence. Today, there's the judge's meeting in Salem. I finally got to the clerk in Salem, told her the situation. She said she'd run it up to the judge, up to the clerk, and that was the last we heard. The next thing I hear is the sheriff came and bowled right through us. And bowled right through, like we had all these people standing here, and they just, pushed right through the crowd. Correct. Yeah. Yeah, they say that that other order, that they have court papers that say that they can ignore all that.
They arresting you or anything? They're just,
No,
what are they doing?
they're trying to get in.
Waiting for a locksmith.
They're waiting for a locksmith.
What are they going to get and do what when they're in? What are they going to do when they get in?
Putting this stuff in boxes and moving it out.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to let the movers in. Okay.
Yeah, the movers are just
And
kind
then they
of
could
like
board up the
standing by.
windows.
Huh?
Then they could do like they did on the first floor?
If they
I
want.
doubt it. I doubt they'll
See,
board up the second floor.
They don't need to board the second floor.
Yeah. See, now I'm out. Now they're after this. I mean, I'm not sure what's going on because they can't get me off the property. They've made it clear they're not willing to move me off, and they're not even willing to move you guys because I keep saying no, it's my property, and they're like, we're not going to go
Yeah,
there.
we're just obeying what they want us to do. We're still standing here.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
because they're asking.
the local police asked, just in the interest of keeping peace. Remember, the local police are just to keep the peace.
Yeah.
So if we get in the way, then they can arrest us.
Right.
And like the cars on the street, they were able to deal with that
Yeah. How come they couldn't arrest those guys for trespassing?
because they don't believe that they are.
Okay.
Just like the sheriff actually believes that he's in the right.
Mhm,
He has
yeah.
a court order that says he can do what he does.
Who's this other guy?
That's the Dare. He's the property manager.
Oh, he's a bank rep?
How come they can't break the doors down?
Bankrupt?
Bankrupt?
Representative?
No, no.
They won't
Well,
break-
yes, they hired his
He's a subcontractor for the bank.
They
Yeah.
won't break the doors down?
Huh?
They won't break in?
Well, they probably will. They'll do whatever they need to do.
Oh, is your door locked?
Yeah. Yeah, so well, that was a friend of mine who's part of the leader of the Massachusetts grassroots movement against foreclosure creditor lending.
Yeah.
She just called me and told me that everything that they've done is illegal. But unfortunately, that doesn't help your situation. You're going to be able to win later, but right now you're, which is why I packed some stuff so that just in case this did happen. I mean,
You probably could go to a hotel and send them a bill.
I could, but in the meantime, I got to pay the bill.
Yeah.
Last time I counted.
More coffee.
I'm going to leave this here.
You actually called the sheriff's office. Yep.
He's demanded thing. Should be able to produce it.
It's a public record, so you can do it after the fact. You can go and say, these guys are bonded, they're liable.
Well, you can't stop them because they did, that would be a fault.
Stop them, let them do it, and then you get it for damage.
Right.
They bring all the stuff back, and then they pay you for your emotional distress.
And your stuff.
So what Grace just brought was an interesting point, is that since they won't show me the bond, then we know that the moving company is bonded. So I need to inform him that I'm really sorry about this, but since the sheriff won't show his bond, I'm going to have to go after your bond
Right.
for all of their misdoings.
Transgressions,
I require you show my bond.
No, I don't need to see it. He's got it. I mean, I can ask to see it, but what I want to put it to the fear of God in him is he needs to call his boss and say, hey,
Right.
this guy's going to sue us
Right.
for all the wrongdoings of the sheriff.
Yeah.
Maybe we should get out of here.
Go ahead.
I got to wait till he's away from the pack.
No, he's going to hang with the pack. He'll be here.
I think that sheriff is wearing a flak jacket.
Statute of limitations.
No, I think he's just big.
He's hanging on to something.
He's hanging on to something, yeah.
Wearing a
Oh
what?
yeah, you're right.
wearing
I think
a
you're right.
flak
'Cause that's
What's that?
Hits your deck.
He's wearing protection.
He was expecting, he was prepared for the worst.
Yeah.
Aren't they always?
Wow.
You know, have gun, will travel, I will use.
What was going to happen? Was someone going to kick him in the chest or something?
Hey, I think he was smart to do it.
This is the thing about that militarizing.
Yeah.
And all the local police and everything are militarizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've got strength in numbers.
I
look
mean,
at
he
this.
actually, when they were here last time, they went to their car. When they came to do their thing, they went to their car and put on the flak gear and the whole, SWAT team stuff. They put that all the gear on, and then they came and they did that whole charging at us thing.
It's all intimidation. It's all just
Yeah.
That's a
might
lot
is
of it, yeah.
might is right,
We should
and it's not
have
right.
linked arms. It would have been interesting to see what would have happened.
There's a lot of costume wearing in society.
Yes, exactly. You take off the costume, the power goes away,
That's right.
and size, it gets back to size
Okay,
again.
so I need to
and lack of
inform you of
Yes.
So they've refused to produce a bond. So I just need to let you and your boss know that I don't have any choice now except to go after your bond for their wrongdoings.
I'm saying it, I know.
You guys are bonded, right? Yes. So we're going to have to work with your bond because they won't produce a bond in their actions. So I'm sorry that might go that way, but you're going to do.
Talk about it, we signed an agreement, I can't disclose, there's plenty of those
Oh,
out there.
that's nice.
And those people are not telling you. So we're all trying to find that secret. That's what the secret is. The banks don't have any money. They're lending your money to you, and you've got to pay interest on it.
You know who you got to look at?
It's a racket. That's what it is. And this is all the cover-up they're trying to do. They're trying to have the securitization and the banks and the foreclosures, because the threat of losing your house is very strong, obviously. And Joe's the only one out of these guys that are doing this, the moving. They'll just leave. Joe's not leaving.
What's really cool is
Joe owns the
Have you ever signed a mortgage? There are pages and pages. Your aunt gets tired from signing. There's a lot of legal stuff in there that protects you the homeowner and the resident, but very few people understand those laws, and the judges don't understand the laws. But they play the game and they referee between the lawyers, and if the bank's lawyer is well educated and well funded,
Right.
he may prevail.
What's your name?
Here they come. Well, I appreciate it if they do it all in a calm way.
Well, they're trying to help him out.
Yeah.
Why does somebody have to say, oh wait, Your Honor, this law says this action can't even be brought without
Look at
the
this.
original best evidence or whatever.
It reminds me of a swarm of insects, you know how they, like
That's
locusts,
the clerk's duty
how they
to know,
demolish
hey,
a
bank,
plantation.
you can't bring this because this, you know, so they pick and choose what laws they want to follow.
It's also unnecessary and so juvenile. The whole thing, boarding up the house and kicking people out, it's dumb.
This is something
So
that
dumb.